a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide, brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman is asking Governor Cuomo to authorize his office to immediately investigate and, if necessary, act as a special prosecutor for cases of unarmed civilians killed by police officers. Schneiderman and a coalition of downstate officials want the governor to issue an executive order. They say it's a first step in restoring public trust in how such cases are reviewed after the Staten Island grand jury declined to indict an NYPD officer involved in the Eric Garner chokehold death. Several similar bills are expected to come up in the next state legislative session, but the AG says New York shouldn't wait. Several district attorneys from counties around the state have expressed some negative opinions about this idea. The State Transportation Department's been forced to close another bridge, this one in Brockport. The DOT says it had to immediately close the bridge carrying Park Avenue, Fayette Road over the Erie Canal in Brockport. Traffic's being detoured over the Route 19 bridge. A DOT spokesman says they're working on a repair plan and don't yet know how long that bridge will have to stay closed. A man who fired a shotgun at Rochester police officers responding to a family disturbance call has been indicted on 3 charges of attempted murder of a police officer. A Monroe County grand jury indicted Tony Youngblood on the attempted murder charges and also unlawful imprisonment. Youngblood fired a shot at officers inside a house on Vermont Street last month and then began firing out the windows. Police returned fire, but nobody was hurt. Youngblood was arrested after a standoff. Rochester police are investigating after a man was shot in an alleged drive-by incident Monday night. Police say they responded to the area of Peckham Street and Hudson Avenue about 9:22, found a 19-year-old there who had a minor gunshot wound to one of his hands. The victim was described as being uncooperative, but did tell police he was standing at the corner when a vehicle pulled up. Someone took a shot at him, then took off. He was taken to Rochester General Hospital for treatment. The incident remains under investigation. Police in Ogden say witnesses have helped them identify some persons of interest in a November 30th road rage incident in Spencerport that put a woman in the hospital. Driver Lori Batchelor was rear-ended at a red light by a driver who took off. She chased him long enough to get his license plate number, but once she stopped at a park and started to call 911, the other driver came racing back, confronted her, pulled her out of her car, and beat her up. No arrest has yet been made. The head of the Siena Research Institute says New York holiday spending will not set any records, but New Yorkers are feeling a lot better about the economy. Dr. Doug Lonstrom of SRI says New York's index of consumer sentiment is up 5.2 points from the last check in June. New York is still behind the national average, but well above the break-even point, meaning more of us are optimistic than pessimistic out there. Lonstrom says it's not happy days again, but New York consumer sentiment is back to where it was in early 2007 before the recession hit. Lonstrom says it's partly because of the lower gasoline prices. Fairport Congresswoman Louise Slaughter says a Federal Economic Development Administration grant will help fund a new innovation, manufacturing, and materials science institute at the Eastman Business Park. More than $1.2 million in public and private funding will go into the project to help the new energy companies at the park turn their technology into commercial products. Companies located at the park are working on renewable energy and new high-efficiency battery technologies. Federal prosecutors say a 20-year-old Rochester man has been sentenced to more than 16 years in prison as part of the breakup of a West Side drug gang. Kevin Feliciano, who went by the street name Nash 20, was convicted of conspiracy to distribute crack and of possessing guns while committing crimes. Assistant U.S. Attorney Douglas Gregory says Feliciano was part of a gang known as MDB or the Brozell Boys, and from 2010 until mid-2013, they controlled the open-air drug trade in the area from Dewey and Lexington Avenues north to Driving Park Avenue and Lakeview Park. They also ran drug houses in those neighborhoods. They were taken down last summer. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of our pages and catch one. We post updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.